What's good with YouTube? Accomplished perspective. It's your boy Flacco coming in with a little bit of energy.
Hey, what's up, y'all,
All right,
man? It's your boy Rojo, man. How y'all doing today?
Senor Rojo's in the house, man. Today we got an exclusive, man. Rojo's gonna start it off, man. We're gonna be talking about the exclusive information that's just been revealed about an individual, the national president of the Mongols, Little Dave.
Yeah, man. So, man, it's been breaking across my news feed everywhere, man. And I watched the video. Apparently, his wife or significant other or whatnot was in some kind of a room talking to him on speakerphone, and there was another individual in the room recording it. And she was basically asking him about, if he's ready to get help for alcohol and drugs. No big deal. You know what I mean? Typical, talk during an argument, man. But he started to reveal that the handler he has that was guaranteeing his safety for cooperating with him, apparently it's an ATF agent, is retiring after a year and would no longer be able to provide him protection, and that he needed to come up with some sort of exit strategy. A reasonable conclusion would be to get away from the gang and disappear. It wasn't a very long video, but hearing a lot of interviews with him in the past, and the things he was talking about and the girl, it's obviously him. There's no doubt about it. And man, he's the president, bro. And man, it's just crazy, man, because he was on there doing, kind of sniveling and, just not sounding the part of how he's supposed to sound at all, man. And that one piece of damning information about, his safety being secured and stuff. It's like, who secures your safety, bro? You know what I mean? And man, it was a damning video, dude. No doubt about it.
So, the first thing that stands out, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, Rojo, or any of the viewers. Now, he wasn't just a president; he was the national president, right?
Correct.
And so that makes this kind of interesting, right? Like, I was thinking about it, playing it out in my head. There's been some high-ranking dudes within the NF that have flipped, like Death Row Joe. He was basically second in command. Yeah, Chento Rojo, who was a general. But very, very rarely do you see people at the top, like the superior power position, to where you reap all the benefits,
Right.
flip. You know what I'm saying? Usually it's either the lower level, mid-level, even some that may be a little bit borderline high ranking. That's some way, somehow they get a bitter taste. They feel like they've been betrayed, they feel like they've been done wrong, they've been politically maneuvered against each other. I speak on that for a lot of individuals that I know and for myself who were in those type of situations, man. But this is kind of a little bit different, man. I mean, you have someone who is at the top of the top.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna basically be telling on all his subordinates, all those that he holds power over, which is kind of a unique situation. Usually it's those, like I said, that are lower level, mid-level, that are telling on those that are above them.
Hey,
So
as far as that goes, that'd be just the same as if Corny rolled over tomorrow. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's
Well,
a
I mean,
trip, dude.
they have three positions of power, though. This is someone who was at the top of the power, which is a total. This would be like, I think the only one who ever fell in that type of situation was I want to say Joseph Mazzini, who was a part of the Italian mob, he was in control of one of those families. But this is a national syndicate that's overseeing all different chapters.
Right.
So I'm kind of curious, like how did this occur? How long was it going, or was he just tired of the life? Was he tired of the politics? Did he have something serious over his head? I mean, there's a whole bunch of what ifs. You know what I mean? And the coldest thing is, man, is apparently this is his woman that he trusted. So what was going on there? Was he being abusive? Was she tired of the alcohol and drugs? Was she just basically trying to set him up?
Yeah.
There's a lot of untold scenarios that we can only speculate right here with this situation.
Hey, right at the beginning of the video too, she was talking about how she didn't want to be in that life no more and this and that. So this might have been some kind of plot on her end, you know what I mean, to put him in a position with him saying the things he said on the phone where he wouldn't be able to be in that lifestyle anymore. You know what I mean? It might have been really strategically planned by her. But either way, he was obviously already cooperating and all that stuff. And one other thing that really trips me out is I know, at least in Southern California, where the Mongols are strong, they have a working relationship, if not, have to kind of report to the big homies from down south in some form or fashion. You know what I mean? I know they came to an agreement, you know, a few years ago about how things would play out down there with that group and their group. You know what I mean? So, you know, if this snitching affects business, the big homies from down south are involved in, there's going to probably be ramifications on that relationship as well. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
wow.
Because it'll be hits to the pocket, maybe arrests. You never know what he was saying because, you know, we're not there and it's not out yet. But
There's nothing pretty much that he wouldn't know.
right.
He overseed everything.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they have sub factions for security reasons, but I mean, I don't know too much, to be honest with you. You know, I don't know too much about how the 1%ers function.
Me
I know
neither.
I've done business with them. I've
Yeah.
associated with them, but they're pretty much, you know, they're able to for some reason they're able to be out there on Front Street and still operate like this. It's
Yeah,
weird.
do videos and stuff. They're on all kinds of videos and TikTok and all over.
You know, and people know that they're doing this and they're doing that, but they're able to, it's like they wiggle right, bro. I mean, so this is going to be interesting to see what the ramifications are behind this, man, because not only is he jeopardizing his whole club, but all these clubs, man, they've always been known to do a lot of interactions with a whole lot of other clubs, man. And this isn't the first time that they've had a member that's fell out of favor. You know what I mean? I think the one that was on Gangland fell out of favor too, over some actions with, and he got pretty much kicked out the club, I think, if I'm right. I mean, I could be wrong, man, but you know, the one that was on Gangland?
Yeah.
I think he had some similar issues too, where he took down the club later on as well, man. I could be wrong. I remember reading something. I know he's no longer active or the president at that time. So this is kind of some breaking news, man. And you know, you got a lot of people who are pretty much probably heading to the mattresses right now. You know, people gonna be hiding out, worried, and you know, not knowing if they're gonna suffer the consequences or how much did he tell or how much he knew. Because to me, man, I don't see. I look at someone like that being a president. I look at them as someone like Corny and Skip. You know what I mean? Chuco, Conejo, who have their hand in every affair. They know everything. The directives that are coming out for these clubs and all that are going to be sent out there through their subordinates. So there's no way that the information doesn't get filtered out. We know how a chain of command operates in general. They have a different hierarchy structure, you know, where they have a lone man at the top, which, you know, it's why the NF took out that and changed all that. Because when you leave someone alone at the top, they either reap the benefits or they could bring everybody down at the same token.
Right. You know, it's a trip, man, is as far as being, you know, one of the options for what he did is being tired of the politics. Man, when you're the one setting all the policy and stuff, you know, that I wouldn't think that would be the reason. You know, I would think more so that there would be time hanging over his head in some form or fashion, because anytime any of these indictments happen, which involve some type of organized group, they're going to go for the leader, obviously, as well. Whether it be some guys, like, say they got a chapter in fucking Atlanta, Georgia, you know, that he don't even really know their day-to-day operations. You know, they could get busted with, you know, let's say some gun smuggling charges. They're ultimately going to go after him as well because he's the head of the whole organization. You know what I mean? So being tired of the politics wouldn't necessarily be the thing, because he's the one who would create their policy. But he's also the first target of every investigation nationwide. It's going to be Motorcycle Club in Atlanta, Georgia. And then obviously they're going to try to put him on the indictment too on every single case. You know what I mean? So he probably had some time hanging over his head, or they told him they were going to RICO his club and he was going to go down, and they had him with actual evidence. That would be the only reason, you know, if you're the number one guy, that would be the only reason you'd have to roll, really.
I mean, could he have been playing both sides?
Oh, definitely. Anytime you're doing something like that, you got to be.
I mean, these clubs operate a little bit different, man. They operate on a little bit more sophisticated level. I mean, I remember there was an individual in San Mateo County, man. He got transferred to Santa Rita because of his interactions with correctional staff. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, man, if this was even a ploy, if this was even allowed. Maybe he was playing both sides, or maybe he was a plant by his own people to avoid them being indicted. Because I don't know what they're thinking is. You know what I mean? That may sound like a far-fetched conspiracy theory right there, but you know, these motorcycle clubs operate a little bit different, man. And a lot of information is not known. It's like, it's kind of a mythical presence to where you know the things that they're doing, you know what they're involved in, you know what they're capable of, but at the same time, you still don't know.
Yeah, no, it's hard to say because just like you said, we don't really know their politics, and you know, they may be allowed to attempt to manipulate people, such as, you know, law enforcement or whatnot. Like us, that's totally out of the question for our group. You know what I mean? And other groups don't necessarily get down like that. They might try to flip, you know, government agents. You know, like government agents would always be trying to flip you. They might be trying to flip them to work for their favor. You don't know, because man, every group's got real different ways of operating and stuff. And them 1%ers, man, they're in a league of their own when it comes to how they get down. You know what I mean? So you could be right.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't see
Yeah,
it
but
personally, but you never know, bro.
I'm thinking as we're doing this video, and let me tell the viewers, we got this information fresh, man. I'm thinking that he kind of exposed his hand though, saying they can't protect me no more. And I wonder what that means though. I mean, does that mean like protect you from the club or protect you from indictment? What does he mean by that? You get what I'm saying? You could sit there and read into that. I mean, maybe he had an agent on the inside that was working with him and allowing him to do whatever he needed to do. And now that person he was dealing with on a one-on-one basis that was protecting him, you know what I'm saying? Now is no longer going to be active, because that's what doesn't make sense to me. Because if you have a handler, right, and you're still dealing with them and whatever you're doing, even after your handler leaves, you're still going to have another handler. There's going to be someone lined up to fill that position.
Yeah,
So
you would
that's the
think so,
whole-
because the investigation and the cooperation is not going to stop. You know, they're gonna bleed that fucking. They're gonna
So-
bleed it dry.
that makes me question what was going on right there by this tape. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Was he really telling or working with him like that? Or did he have someone on the inside that was protecting him from what he was doing? I don't know. Everybody's jumping to assumptions and conclusions.
Hey, you know what? Hey, Flacco, real quick. Anybody who might have information on the get down of these individuals, get at us on direct message Instagram. We won't ever say who you are or nothing like that. If you know if there's any kind of, you know, allowable attempts to manipulate agents, you know what I mean, or agencies, man, you guys, somebody out there might be in the little biker circle and know those kind of things. But I would say, you know, them being predominantly a Rasa group, you know, with the ties that they have, I would say probably not, bro. I'm guessing, but just, I don't think so, dude. I don't think they're allowed to talk.
But you know what though, brother? A lot of they've recruited dropouts in the past, bro.
Well,
That
that's gotta be a awkward. That's pretty awkward.
That is well known though. You know what I mean? There was a few in San Jose at that time, man, that
That are
were actually
Mongols?
active. That were Mongols, brother. You know what I mean? So I mean, that's the one thing. I mean, think about what I'm saying though. That's the one thing that stands out to me is he can't protect me no more. What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? He can't protect me. It doesn't say that, oh, you know what I mean? Did he say the word handler in this video or no?
Not that I caught.
So maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe he had an inside man that was feeding him information that was protecting him.
That's
You know
true.
what I'm saying? Because you can't really reveal that where he's actually telling. There's nothing, because I mean, if you
Yeah,
have
there's
an
no
active-
concrete evidence, man. It's just a really strong theory. You know what I mean? But you're right. There is no actual evidence. Not like, you know, there ain't nothing like that. It's just a bad look. It's a real bad look.
It is a bad look. You mean it is a bad look, but people are running with it, man. I'm not going to assume either or, but just the one thing from that I would sit there and look at, man, is if your handler retires in a year, or the person you're dealing with retires in a year, and he can't protect me, if you're working with them,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They're gonna have someone that's gonna fill that position right after. Period.
yeah. It could be somebody. You're right. It could have been somebody in the ATF that's providing him information that, hey, you guys are about to get raided. This investigation is going on. You're absolutely correct. You know, 100%.
I mean,
Until we see more facts, you know,
I'm not
you're
saying
right. You know,
I'm saying he did or didn't, but I mean, I just want to throw that out there because that's the only part of the story that I heard and listening to. You know, I try to look at things in with an open analytical view.
yeah.
And
No,
not
you
try
got
to
a good point. There's no doubt about it.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying that that's the case here, but
Yeah.
it just, to me, like, why because the guy retires, why is that going to affect you unless he's helping you? because they're going to find someone in line that's going to work with you next. That's how it's going to operate, man.
Right.
It's you know what I mean. It's like if someone started debriefing.
Yeah, no, that's a
You know what I mean?
prize asset, bro. They ain't letting him get away.
If someone starts debriefing, there's always going to be someone in the know above that person. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be someone in the know. It's like if someone started debriefing with a certain IGI, that IGI gets transferred out, or that IGI dies, they're going to feel someone in to hold that position to do the debriefing. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, really, it could, man, you're right. It could theoretically be a big assumption and a jump in the gun. You know what I mean? And I'm sure within the next few days or a week, man, a lot more information will start pouring out, because this is going to open the floodgate of all kinds of, you know, speculations and what people might have. And, you know, who knows? Hey, you know, any way you look at it, that girl set him up to look stupid.
Oh yeah,
So
man.
she was on the phone like this, just like this, talking to the speakerphone, and somebody else was 3-4 feet away to the other side recording the conversation. So it was a smooth setup, no matter what.
Well, you can record your conversations. There's apps for people just to record on their phone nowadays.
Yeah. No, somebody was taking the video of her.
Oh, they were taking the video of her.
Yeah, you couldn't see him, but she was over there talking, like, say I'm pointing the phone at you, and she was on speakerphone with Lil Dave.
Yeah, something, man. I got red flags over this whole situation. Something isn't adding up, bro. I don't know what it is. My gut's telling me, man. I mean, something just doesn't add up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hey, very well. He could be, you're right, man. You know, I didn't even think about it from that angle until you brought that up. But you're very right. He could be having somebody on his side in there, because there wasn't enough details in the recording of that to be able to positively conclude that he was.
You froze up, Rojo.
So the little technical difficulty real quick. But what I was saying is, man, there's just not enough evidence in the recording to prove that he was 100% in a negative relationship with whoever he's talking about. It could have been positive for his people. But like I said, over the next hours or days, bro, there's going to be a lot more on this, man, with people chiming in that may or may not know stuff, you know, for sure. This will open up a gate, you know.
Yeah, the internet's running with it already. That's just how rumors circulate. I mean, I don't know what to think of it. Some doesn't add up though. Just by hearing it, and trying to dissect it. I mean, I see people. That's the problem, right? Because the first time I heard about this story from someone today, right, was, oh, this dude's telling, and so that gets filtered and put in your head, and then you don't look at the story for what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know that he is or isn't. I'm just drawing the red flags for you to look at. Like, well, look at this. This just doesn't make no sense.
Yeah.
Maybe he possibly is. I really don't know. But apparently there's a video. Apparently his female, you know what I'm saying, that he was with, you know, but then, you know, he also said he was a little emotional on that too, man. You know
it was a trip. There was some whiny tones to it for sure.
I mean, I mean, what if he was feeding her lies too, just to play with her head? I mean, that's been done before on the phone too. When you're with a female, they're tired of the lie. Oh, hey, I'm on the exit plan. He could have been just feeding her BS the whole time too.
No doubt.
You know?
Yeah, misinformation, misdirection, trying to keep her to shut up about the goings on and stuff. No doubt.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a whole lot of things that we have to really evaluate, man, and it's just going to be a matter of time, man. But for us to really draw a conclusion one way or another, I mean, the more I'm talking about doing this, while we're doing this video, the more I'm just thinking like there's so many unknowns right now.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, man. It was just, man, that's a real bad look, you know, and a lot of people are going to jump to that conclusion. Like I did, you know, I was like, oh, that's not good at all. Yeah, but you know, what you talk about in private to someone when you're trying to like manipulate or control the damn, you know, the situation, you know, there's a word I was thinking of, I can't think of it. But when you're trying to control the narrative, that's the word I was looking for. When you're trying to control the narrative and what you're saying, you know, and to somebody you're in a personal relationship, man, it could be 1,000% bullshit.
Bro, I mean, look at this. I'm gonna leave it here, right? I'm gonna leave it here. This is a national president.
Mm-hmm.
This is a gold mine. You're not gonna lose no handler just because he fucking retires if you have a handler.
Yeah.
Point blank. That's the part that doesn't sit right with me. You know what I mean? I mean, think about it. That's a gold mine. That doesn't just affect just the Mongols, but other relationships with other groups that are really out there high ranking that are doing a lot of activities in Southern California. People know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So that's where it doesn't make no sense. So whatever he's pillow talking with her, yeah, it shows a little weakness, but at the same time, what was the ploy behind it? What was she trying to seek out doing this? You know what I mean? Was she seeing someone else and this was just staged to set him up and make him look bad? I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, she's a cold character for that one.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that have you whatever happened to what's her name? You know what I mean? Like that's not a good look right there.
Man, I mean, that's the cool part about it, man. I mean, unless she was in on it too and he was in on it, I don't know. There's so many what ifs, bro. I mean,
yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. Yeah, with the information we have at this point, it's impossible to draw a conclusion. You're right. It was just overwhelming when you first heard it, like, oh, snaps. But you got to remember too, that dude's got 1 million ops. Every other biker group hates him, so they're gonna run with that shit to try to discredit their group. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's not to say that he isn't telling or working with them. It's not to say that either.
right.
We just don't know. I'm just saying, to me, I'm a deep thinker, as everybody knows. I'm analytical. So when I get presented information, I don't want to hear someone's opinion of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to look at the different scenarios and views. Okay, this is what we hear. This is what we know, and this is what we hear. Now, what do you think really happened? Because if we go into a dialogue and start to discuss it like we are, I mean, since doing this video, I've had about 3 different perspectives of the situation. Just speaking with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that was. I'm curious to see how it plays out now, man. You actually made me change my little train of thought. I'm still extremely skeptical, but
I am too. You know what I mean? Because I mean, apparently he was looking weak in the phone call.
Bad. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And a woman will always be a man's downfall to some extent, man. You know what I mean? Was this his wife or was this just his girlfriend?
They say it's his wife, man, but I'm not 1,000%.
Well, if it's his wife, I mean, there's supposed to be some type of level of trust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So sometimes, with your wife, you can't look at them as. It's hard enough to trust family nowadays, bloodline family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's bad enough just having a conversation like that on speakerphone, let alone with somebody else recording it in the room. It's like,
I want to know who leaked it. Is what I want to know.
There shouldn't have been an opportunity to leak anything. That's not a conversation you have with somebody else in the room on speakerphone. She's asking him about if he wants to get help for his alcohol and drugs. It's like, that's a personal problem. That's a personal issue. That ain't in between me and my friend in the room. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
man, that'll get you fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
And she knows the game.
No doubt.
If she was married to him,
president's wife.
You know what I mean? So that's what what was her end game in this? You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if it was the feds that were filming her. You know what I mean?
Could be,
trying to make it seem like he's working with him, trying to set him up, man. I wouldn't be so surprised. I mean, I don't know, man. This is a topic that I hope people listen to this video and they see the different views that we're trying to give.
Yeah, you did. You just crushed it on the points, bro. You hit all the points on the head. I didn't even trip on it.
That just doesn't make sense, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm just saying.
There's no way we'll know until this whole thing transpires. Hey, if you don't hear from that dude no more, it was probably true. If you see him out with his boys rolling around and stuff, they probably know something that nobody else knows.
Yeah.
Because they're a successful fucking group, dude. And you're successful for a reason. You know what I mean? You don't be a 1%er group or any kind of organized group that does these kinds of things and be able to achieve the level of success they had without being a little bit Well,
if he's been working for him for this long, I mean, I'm sure after this being revealed, if he really was working for them, everybody's going to be arrested right now.
Oh yeah, because his
you're going to see in jeopardy, because there's already been a breach of security.
Yeah, and he'd be in Europe somewhere.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, if people really feel like he was telling, I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody ran for the mattresses. That's what they say when it was Sopranos. Let's go hide in the mattresses or whatever. Go hide out on the lamb. I mean, so we'll see. You know I mean, I think this is an interesting topic, man. I think it's going to be a little bit different than what everybody else is putting out there, man. So
Yeah, no doubt. No, you made some killer points. You crushed it, bro. But shit, I think we covered everything that we're available to cover with the information we have at this point. So we're definitely going to keep you posted on this one because Flacco just opened some amazing doors into different perspectives. That's the reason this channel is called that, about how this scenario could really play out. You know what I mean? So as things develop, man, we're definitely going to retouch on that. Although we don't never touch on, bikers or anything like that. This is just a real, this is a standout subject about a standout person. You know what I mean? So we're going to follow this one kind of close.
yeah, maybe they'll hear it on their way to whacking him. They'll be like, oh, maybe we shouldn't whack him.
Hey, we might have saved them. Hey, if we saved you, little Dave, Cash App, you know what I'm saying? Super chat, it's all good, brother. Oh, hit your boy up. All right, YouTube, man. This is your boy Rojo with Flacco. As always, Flacco's about to go on a little trip with the wifey. So
yeah,
we wanted to get something out for you guys, man, and we'll holler at y'all later.
all right.